Давай тебя сфоткаем для Инстаграма.
See, I'm a star here in Adygea. They're now taking pictures of me for their Instagram. When the Russian Empire invaded Circassia, какое отношение вы имеете с русскими? Greetings from Krasnodar in the very south of Russia. Back when invading territories was common practice even in the more civilized world, there were hundreds of wars and conflicts all over Europe. These, up until a few weeks ago, sounded to us like a distant remnant of the past. But the Russian invasion of Ukraine has reminded us of all the horrors that we are capable of as a human species. One of the most brutal conflicts of the 18th century was the relatively unknown Circassian War. Circassia, a country and historical region in the North Caucasus along the shore of the Black Sea, was once destroyed and devastated in a war lasting over a century, which resulted in Circassia becoming part of the Russian Empire. While I was in Russia not long ago, I traveled to the territory that was once part of Circassia in order to find out more about the culture of ethnic Circassians as it was back before it was annihilated by the Russian Empire, as I was curious about their customs, their language, and their relation with this sad part of their history. Greetings from Krasnodar in the very south of Russia. Today I want to take you even further south as I want to visit a region that was once part of the largest ethnic nation in history, Circassia. So let's get down to the bus station of Krasnodar and let's see if we can find a bus ride to Maikop, which is the capital nowadays of the Republic of Adygea, one of the very few Russian republics which still have a decent sized Circassian speaking population, so let's see what we can find. Здравствуйте, на ближайшее до Майкопа успею?
Да, паспорт.
Спасибо большое. Let's go. So this is my ride for the day. Спасибо большое.
Заходите, пожалуйста.
Спасибо большое.
Хочу поспать. Я хочу поспать.
The territory of Krasnodar nowadays totally surrounds the Republic of Adygea, which is the fifth smallest Russian federal subject by area and also pretty difficult to get to, as there is no major airport or railway link. Adygea is one of Russia's ethnic republics, primarily representing the indigenous Adyge people, a Circassian ethnic group that nowadays constitute only a quarter of the republic's population. Western historians accuse the Russian Empire of employing a genocidal strategy on Circassian civilians before a mass deportation was launched against the surviving population. Western sources claim that at least 800,000 Circassians were either killed or expelled, whereas the claim of the Russian government is that of a deportation of around 400,000 people. English Wikipedia refers to it as the Circassian genocide, whereas the Russian version of the page is titled Circassian Resettlement. Up until the 17th century, Krasnodar was the very last town of the Russian Empire. South of Krasnodar was the state of Circassia, and that lasted only until the second half of the 18th century, when the Russian Empire invaded Circassia, causing a massive exodus of ethnic Circassians. That's why nowadays, for example, you have more ethnic Circassians in Turkey than you have in Russia, where they are mostly confined to the republics of Kabardino-Balkaria, what's the other one? Circassia and Adygea, which is where I'm going today. And even there, they don't make up the majority of the population still, so it's not necessarily going to be easy to find ethnic Circassians in Maikop and in the villages of Adygea. Спасибо, до свидания. Oh, and we made it to Maikop. That was a sweaty ride. It was hot as heck in there, but we made it to Maikop. And look at this, we have our first instance of the Circassian language. Look, this is the bus station, this is the Avtovokzal, and on that side you have Maikop, which is the Russian name of the town, and on the other side you have which I'm able to read because it's still in Cyrillic, but you see that this is the Circassian version of the name of the town of Mycop, so that's very cool. So let's start. Well, if you remember, I started this video right next to the Lenin statue of Krasnodar. And now I'm in front of the Lenin statue of Mycop. And I have to say, the Lenin square right here looks much better than the one in Krasnodar. Hello, Lenin. And right behind Lenin, you see the Dom Sovietov, the House of the Soviets, with the Russian flag waving right next to the flag of the Republic of Adygea. Look at that, the Russian flag to the left and the Adygean flag to the right. Now, I don't know if you can catch the 12 stars on the upper half of the flag of the Republic. Each star represents each of the 12 sub-ethnic groups into which the larger Circassian ethnic group was and still is divided. And the Adygeans make up one of them. The Adygeans, along with the Kabardinos populating the region of Kabardino-Balkaria and the Circassians populating the region of Circassia, make up the largest population of Circassian origin still living in Russia nowadays. Tribes other than the 12 individual Circassian tribes represented on the flag of Adygea are the Shapsugh, one of the largest Circassian representations in Turkey and the absolute largest in Israel, and the Ubykh, found exclusively in Turkey. There are also many other small tribes or large clans that are included in one of the main 12 Adyge tribes, such as the Guayabera or Chebsin, who have, however, not been found since the end of the Circassian War. The Circassian language, also known as Cherkess, is a subdivision of the Northwest Caucasian language family that is still very much spoken by ethnic Circassians in Russia, in social contexts such as restaurants, schools, and every day on the street. The Circassian language is just one of the elements that define a culture that is highly rich and prosperous, with its own music, traditional clothing, cuisine, and much more. You know what? I'm starting to get really hungry right now, so I think the best way to get to know the Circassian culture is look for some Circassian food. So I found myself the perfect top-notch Adygean spot. Look at this. And look at the nice Muslim decorations. I don't know if I told you already that Circassians were and still are, of course, of Muslim religion. I think we are going to check out the big and large mosque of Mycop later on in the day. Circassia was a predominantly Christian region until the beginning of the 18th century, when the Sultan Murad of the Ottoman Empire ordered to spread Islam among Circassians with the slight help of Crimean Tatars. Many members of the Circassian aristocracy converted to Islam, then ultimately spreading the religion to their dependents. The process of gradual Islamization of the region was also made faster by the ever-increasing threat of an invasion from Russia. Here's the menu, but most of the names of the dishes are actually in Adygean, they're in Circassian, so I'm not quite sure. I need to go and ask for some help from the waiter. Мне надо помочь, потому что...
Не знаете, да?
Русский читаю, но не очень много. Вы сказали, что алкоголь нету,
Алкоголь
и мясо.
нету. Мясо есть. Давайте баранина попробуйте жареное, очень вкусное, с мамалыгой. Баранина.
Баранина, не знаю, что это.
Мэ.
Что? Не знаю, какие животные у вас есть в Адыгее.
Сейчас я вам покажу телефон.
А вы говорите язык?
По-адыгейски, да?
Да. Finally, the waiter knows the language, so we're going to have some food now, and after that, we're going to hear some Circassian language. Amazing. I think I found the right spot. Это адыгейская музыка, да? The guy told me that just for me, he was going to turn on some Adygean and Circassian music. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't even know if I'm going to get a copyright strike because of it. А где у вас колонки, чтобы слышать лучше?
Вот туда ближе.
Oh, there you go. Caucasus music. This looks like the Circassian version of X Factor, doesn't it? А это прямо язык Адыгей?
Черкесский.
Черкесский. Но ваши языки?
Диалекты разные. Это
Что?
черкесский. Не адыгейский, а черкесский.
Ага. А черкесский где говорят? В другом республике?
Черкесский.
Карачаево-Черкасска.
Здесь тоже есть аулы.
Ага.
Тоже разговаривают.
Ну, может,
Диалект
если вы
кабардинский.
говорите разные диалекты, вы понимаете друг друга?
да,
Понял.
там
Это как
одинаково.
испанский, итальянский, может быть, еще более похоже, может.
Более ближе.
Более
да.
ближе.
Это мы один народ.
Например, как привет на вашем языке?
Добрый день, это будет фимахо фуа.
Фимахо,
Фуа.
фимахо фуам.
Да.
Понял.
Фимахо фуа.
Uh-huh.
Это
So we're getting down to the basics of the Circassian language. I'm still very much confused as to the differences in the many dialects of this place, of the Caucasus, of Circassia. Откуда? Угадайте.
Иордания, Сирия.
Сирия?
Нет?
Нет, я из Италии.
Италия?
Да.
Там красиво, да? Русские.
О, спасибо большое.
Давай тебя сфоткаем для Инстаграма. Вот как
Да,
есть сейчас. Вот так.
конечно.
Инстаграм у нас есть.
You see, I'm a star here in Azigea. They're now taking pictures of me for their Instagram.
Это хлеб, то, что я говорил. Это очень вкусно, попробуй.
Хорошо. I think the soup is not properly Circassian, but the хлеб, the bread definitely is. А мой напиток будет. So let's try the drink. Paskhma. It's alright. A bit too sweet. But I have to say, I spent a little bit more than usual because this is a touristy restaurant on the main street of my cop. But at least it's very nice. Look at this. You have the Circassian swords. There's the map of the original state of Circassia. The term genocide was not in use in the 19th century. However, many scholars, mainly from the West and Circassian activists, have asserted that the mass killings and deportations of Circassians from their native land fits in the modern-day concept of genocide. Boris Yeltsin in 1994 admitted that resistance to the Tsarist forces was legitimate, but he did not recognize the guilt of the Russian Empire for the genocide. Subsequently, the leaders of Kabardino-Balkaria and Adygea sent appeals to the Russian parliament to reconsider their stance and issue an apology. The position of the Russian government was to acknowledge past actions of the Soviet and imperial regimes while proposing to overcome the multiple contemporary issues in the Caucasus through cooperation. Although Circassian organizations have been pushing Western leaders to officially recognize the genocide, Georgia is the only country in the world to classify the events as such. А можно сказать, мне интересно, как ваше отношение на русский, например, после войны, после того, что все,
Это уже
что
в прошлом.
случилось? В прошлом?
Да,
Ага. Значит,
всё
что
нормально.
вы не как рассердились, как и другие.
95% черкесов истребили. 95%.
Да, я читал.
А сейчас,
об этом.
если в общем взять, сколько там? Больше?
Не знаю. Ну, в общем, все
А
нормально.
вы по какой национальности тоже?
Черкесский.
Черкесский. Ага.
Красное, то, что вот это отмечено,
Ага.
это все Черкесия
Да,
больше.
понял.
Все
Понял.
вот абсолютно.
Я был очень рада приехать вам, и может, что на связи будем.
Конечно.
Тогда.
В
Хорошо?
Инстаграме есть, если
Да,
что, конечно.
да. Wow, look at this. I'm really happy that I picked this restaurant to have some meal. До свидания, ребята.
До свидания, счастливо.
Всего доброго. Как до свидания на черкесском?
Махуху.
Фуджа.
Фуджа. That's too difficult. Это очень сложно. Фуджа. До свидания. Man, what a success! We had some proper Circassian food and we learned some of the language, although I have to say it's a bit too difficult for my taste. Russian is way easier. What else can we find here in my cop? Oh yeah, the mosque. Wow, look at what I have in front of me. A beautiful mosque. I told you that Circassians are predominantly Muslim. And although, at least in Adygea, they are a minority compared to Russians, they still have their big, large mosque. Look at this, it's so beautiful. So I found this amazing guy, his name is Ruslan.
Рустам.
Рустам. Это правильно черкесское имя?
Навряд ли черкесская, но довольно-таки распространенная у нас.
I just met him here on the street because I was filming this amazing mosque and he just came up to me and said, hey, what's up? И вот так это центральная мечеть Майкопа, да?
Да, это центральная мечеть, она была заложена в 2000 году Как известно, в советское время религия была под запретом.
Ага.
И после того, как это стало разрешено исповедовать религию, то возник вопрос строительства мечети. И вот была заложена.
Это мой первый день вообще в Адыгею, но мне очень интересно, как история этой части России, понимаете? А какое отношение вы имеете с русскими после того, что случилось 200 лет назад?
Взаимоотношения с русским народом на самом деле у нас не ограничивается последними 200-300 прошедших лет. Исторические упоминания, аж более 1000 лет назад были тесные контакты с русским народом.
Теперь язык, как по-черкесски «спасибо».
Опсо.
Опсо?
Да.
Тогда опсо. I had to take my shoes off. Alright guys, I'm back at Lenin's as you can see, and the day is coming to a close and it's getting pretty dark, I have to say. Also because I still have my sunglasses on for some reason. I still hope I was able to give you a good impression of this place, of Adygea. I'll see you next time. Cheers! Thank you! Bye!